Hey everybody, it's Jennifer at Studio J. Come on in. Happy Saturday. We are going to have fun today. We're actually going to make something for the craft room. I feel like I've been making like Christmas stuff lately, but I thought let's make something we can use. And if you're a crafter, if you have a craft space, I think you could use one of these. So come in. We're going to use items mostly from Dollar Tree. So as you pop in, say hey. I'm gonna get y'all pulled up on my iPad because sometimes I can see comments and sometimes I can't. Hello, Miss Jessica. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday, girl. Okay. All right, there's Studio J. I got a lot of the prep work done because we are going to, I really wanted to do this live to do like an introduction because I was saying I'm coming up on just under 8,000 crafty friends and I've never formally introduced myself. I've never done a little post. I've never done a live with it, nothing. So hello Diane, hey Melissa. Oh, I'm seeing people over here too. Hi, Susan. Hi, y'all. So as you come in, say hi. Thank y'all for being here on Saturday. I know everybody has a lot going on Saturdays. Did I see that you wanted the train? I did not, but I haven't had a chance to go back and read all the messages yet. So I will. I'll get you one. Hello. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start because I'm going to try to keep this kind of quick, kind of short. But we are making a pretty cool project. Hi, Sue. So I may not comment on or may not respond to all the comments until I go back and watch the replay because I kind of want to breeze through this and I kind of want to hit the points that I was planning to do this live for. And we're going to do some trivia along the way. I've got some fun little Happy Mail giveaways. So it's really going to be things, I'm going to ask you things, or I might have one question about this craft. But then I'm going to ask people, like the first person to comment. Now remember, what I see might be different than what y'all see. But the first comment I see pop up that has the correct answer, you could win some Happy Mail. So I kind of need to make sure I ask the question before I give it away. But so the whole point of this, I'm wondering if I should tell y'all. You know what? I'm going to tell you what we're making, and then I'm just going to craft while I'm talking and telling you my story, why I'm here, how I got here, what I do, what I plan to do, all that stuff. So we are going to make an item. Now, okay, here goes the first look. There's only a few eyeballs in here, but y'all got a good chance at this. Now, this isn't the technical answer. This is my answer. What is the thing in your craft space, in your craft room, as a crafter, what is it we have a ton of? Not paint, but what do we all joke about? We have way too much and we need to stop buying it. What do y'all think it is? I'm gonna watch for the answer, and whoever has it is going to win. Now, they're just random little Happy Mails, but I've got 2 yards of this this adorable gingerbread ribbon. It's wired ribbon. It's 2 yards. So first question is, what is my answer to this? What is something as crafters that we just buy too much of and we can't stop buying it? Who knows what I'm going to say? Because that's what we're making this for today. It's not napkins. It's not napkins, Karen. Good guess, though. I do have a ton of napkins. So what is the thing we have the most of? And we always say, I need to stop buying it. Tammy Hunter, it's ribbon. Ribbon. Y'all, I have tubs and tubs of ribbon. And I was going through some of them earlier, and a lot of them are the same ribbon. I just keep buying it. So yes, Tammy, private message me your address. You do have to be in the United States to win Happy Mail. One time I sent a little bitty thing in the mail. It was like $10, and I was like, are you kidding me? It went to Canada, I think. So if you're in the United States, send me your private message me your address. I'm going to send you this adorable gingerbread ribbon. Ribbon. There's the answer right there. So we're going to make today, sorry about that. We're going to make it's a ribbon holder. Now it's only for, you know, not for all of our ribbon, because obviously we have way too much. So it's something that you could keep close to your craft table and have it at easy access, like the ribbons you use the most, maybe the twine or jute or whatever, and just certain ribbons. So in my craft group, we have a challenge going on. I gave them all the Crafters Challenge, and it's to make over a box. So I've done something similar to this. So I'm going to try to match it a little bit, but this is a different accessory. This is going to be for ribbon. I made these little drawers. Some of y'all may remember the live I did. I made these drawers. They're little, look, even the sides are pretty. I don't have the paper for the sides today, but I did print out some more of these moths, these Luna moths. So this is, I don't know if y'all remember seeing these at Dollar Tree. I used to see them all the time, and I don't see them anymore, but I feel like it's because I bought all the ones in my area, because I have a lot of these, or I had a lot of these. But it's this little box. They were $1. I think they were $1 back when I got them. It was before it went up to $1.25. But I still have some of these. So we're going to take these boxes, and you've never had too much ribbon. I just feel like I have an abundance of it. So we're going to take these, and we're going to make something to, it's going to be storage, and it's also going to be a ribbon holder. So, and I'm going to show you. So I got 4 of these. Okay, I did some of the prep work in advance. I got 4 of these, and I went ahead and painted, and it's really going to depend on what paper you put on it, or napkin, what colors you want to do. But I'm going to do, I want mine to match this little set of drawers that I made. So I'm going to do these same Luna moths. So I'm doing like a teal. I don't remember exactly what color this was. So I just grabbed peacock, some Waverly chalk paint and peacock, and black. Okay, so I just went ahead and did my base coats. Okay, so like I said, don't be mad. I probably won't be able to comment on all the, I won't comment on the comments, but I will go back and watch the replay, and I'll catch everybody's comments there. So what I'm just gonna craft along as I'm telling y'all my story. So basically, I just wanted to come on here and introduce myself. Y'all know I'm Jennifer. My page is Studio J Company. Honestly, Studio J Company started in 2001. It's been a long time, but I have not been on Facebook, but only like a little over 2 years, coming up on 3 years, because Studio J was pottery. It was hand-painted pottery. The whole way this all started, I started out, I worked in the corporate industry in property management. I did that for about 15 years. And I loved it. I always thought that's what I would always do. I worked for some high-end apartment communities throughout Atlanta. It was just fun. I mean, I got to live on site. I mean, I had my own apartment, and, you know, it was just so cool. And they were really nice apartments. The funniest one, the first mid-rise I worked at was in Atlanta. It was in Midtown, and it was off West Paces, if you're familiar with Atlanta. But they had like a parking deck and all that, and a courtyard and all that. It's so funny because I got lost my first day there. I went to show someone an apartment, and I somehow got lost and I could not find my way out. First, I found my way out of the courtyard, but you had to go through and get on an elevator and go to the parking deck. I couldn't find. I almost started crying. I had this man with me. I was showing him an apartment. He's like, it's going to be okay. And I was like, do you remember how we got here? And I just remember I was so embarrassed. And then I thought, this guy probably thinks I'm a flake. They're going to laugh at me when I get back to the leasing office. And luckily, one of the maintenance guys went by. And I was like, help! I was like, I don't know how to get back to the office. And he was like, are you kidding me? But I'll never forget that. But I loved working there. It was really cool. I finally figured out how to get around. But anyway, I started out doing that. I did that for 15 years. And it was 2001, January. I'm going to kind of craft as I do this. January of 2001, my dad was only 52. He turned 53 in February. So it was January. He was still 52. He was diabetic. Well, he was complaining he was having some trouble with his feet, circulation issues, and it was cold. It was January. So anyway, he went into the hospital to have that checked. 2 weeks later, he was gone. It turned out he had waited too long to tell anybody that it was bothering him, and it was really bad. And so they thought they were going to have to, they said they were going to have to amputate, and he refused. Have you ever seen people like that that'll say, you know, nope, and they're like, you have to or you won't make it. You know, it's going to be the death of you. And he refused, and there was nothing we could do. So anyway, long story short, he ended up passing away, and I took like 2 weeks off. And when I went back, I remember when I went back to work, we had a manager's meeting, and it was in Atlanta. And when we went, it was a team building exercise. And so they took us to, they catered lunch, and we went to a pottery place. And I remember asking my regional manager, do we have to go? I just wanted to go home and be sad. You know, I just want to go home and cry. I didn't want to be there. I certainly didn't want to go have fun. And she's like, no, Jennifer, it's going to be fun. So I went. I didn't want to go. And I was like, can this be optional? So I went, and y'all, I'll tell you what, I walked in there. It was the cutest little place. It was called Splatter and Chatter. And it was in Vinings, up, you know, on the north, more of the north side. And so, Splatter and Chatter, and, you know, they said, everybody just pick out a piece and, you know, just paint. And then, y'all, I don't remember. I remember everybody was picking out like a little teacup or something. You know, paint your own pottery place. You go in, you pick out a piece, you sit and paint it, you leave it, they glaze it and fire it in the kiln, and you come back and pick it up like a week later. So everybody's picking out like little teacups or little, you know, figurines. I picked out this huge bowl. I was like, I'm going to make a popcorn bowl. So I go in and I get my paints. I don't remember eating lunch. I don't remember talking to anybody. And I loved all the girls there. We were all friends. I don't remember anything. I was so zoned out and into this bowl, this popcorn bowl. And I painted this bowl. And we were there, we got there at like, I don't know, we got there at like 10:30, and I think lunch was at 11:30. I remember the lady coming over and saying, ma'am, we close at 6. If you want, I can wrap this up and you can take it home with you and come back at your, you know, at your convenience and finish it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's 6 o'clock. I completely just zoned out, you know, and I was just so into this bowl. So I went home that night and I told my husband, I said, I had the best day. And he's like, good, what did you do? And I told him, and he said, well, then you need to do that more often. And I was like, I know. I said, but it's like an hour away. So I looked around, I couldn't find a place like that. So when I went back to finish my bowl, I asked them, I said, do y'all have like other locations? And she said, no, it's not a franchise, it's just us. And I was like, do you know of any others like further south? Because I live about an hour south of here. And she said, no, I don't. So I finished my bowl, and then I went back a week later to pick it up, and I loved it. It was so great. So I got the bowl, and I asked them, I said, how hard is it to open a place like this? And suddenly these super friendly people turned cold. Like they didn't want to tell me nothing. And I was like, oh, yikes. And I was like, I'm not competition, I promise. I live a good hour away, and that's with me driving. I mean, a normal person, it's probably about an hour 15, you know? I was like, I promise I'm not competition, and they wouldn't tell me anything. So I set out to figure out how to open one, what's involved, what I need. Y'all, I wrote a business plan. I got a small business loan. And I told my husband, I said, you know, you kept saying I should do that more, and I can't find a place. So I'm thinking I'm going to just open one. Hey, Miss Ruby. So I said, I think I'm going to find a way. I need to be crafting. All I'm going to do, I'm going to be decoupaging. Let me tell y'all, I got this little box, these boxes from Dollar Tree. I painted the outsides. I'm not going to worry about the back. I may go back and paint them later, but I painted the outside of the box, this teal peacock color, and I painted the inside black. I'm not worrying about that because I'm gonna hide that little hole. They all have a different, the one has a heart, one has a flower, a couple of them have flowers, but it's gonna go in like that. So you're not gonna see all that, okay? So I'm gonna craft while I'm talking. All I'm gonna do is I printed out my moths. Like I just tried to size them about the size of the square. I'm just gonna decoupage them on here while we're talking. And the reason I painted this black is because the background of the picture is black, and I want it to kind of blend a little bit in case it doesn't fit exactly. So just want to tell you what I'm doing while I'm talking. Okay, so anyway, I got it all figured out, and my husband, this was my ex-husband at the time, and he was one of those, if he was watching TV, he doesn't listen to anything you're talking about. So he's watching TV, and I said, I got it all figured out. I got my business plan. I got approved for a small business loan. I'm going to open one. I already found a retail space and everything. Yeah, you should do that. You'd be good at it. Well, he was watching TV and he was just saying that. And I came home. Well, I went to work and I called my regional manager and I said, is there a day that we could go to lunch and talk? And she was like, yeah, come on up. So went and had lunch with her, and I told her, I said, I've been looking at like policies and, you know, benefits and stuff like that. And I said, I know I can take a 90-day leave of absence, unpaid. I understand that. And I would like to do that. And she's like, oh my gosh, there was a new apartment community opening a couple miles down the road. And she's like, please tell me you're not going to work for them. And I said, no, I wouldn't take a 90-day leave of absence if I was doing that. I said, I'm going to open one of those paint your own pottery studios. And she was like, well, wait, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do for 90 days. And, you know, I got to find somebody. And wait, you didn't even want to go to that place. What are you talking about? You know, it was so funny. But, so anyway, I ended up opening it. I took my 90-day leave of absence. That was in June. I got it all opened up. I got it, you know, set up and everything. It was like mid-June. So I was there July, August, September, and I was going to go back to work. Y'all, it was 2001. And we all know what happened in September of 2001. September 11th came, and the whole world, I swear, the world shut down. Nobody came into the store. Nobody did anything. I mean, it was just a week. I was so busy when I first opened. I had birthday parties and ladies' night and all these things going on. And when everything kind of froze, we went a week with, I think I might have sold 2 Coca-Colas that week, and that was to one of the girls that worked at the hair salon, like 2 stores over. I mean, we did no business, and I freaked out, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happened? And I was like, I've got to go back to work. And then I was like, well, I can't go back to work because I can't afford to pay someone to be here to watch the store. I'm going to have to do it. But then I was like, I can't leave my job. I mean, I'm going to need that job. But then I've signed this lease. I got to stay, you know. So I struggled and went back and forth with it. But anyway, long story short, it ended up working out. There was a couple weeks where it was really slow, but I figured, you know what? Nobody's coming in. I'm going to have to go out. So I made up a bunch of flyers. I went to daycares and I took like field trip flyers. And I was like, if you can't come to me, I will load up my Explorer with pottery and paint and brushes, and I'll bring it and let the kids paint. I did that. I went to, I ended up booking a ton of field trips. I went around to doctor's office, dentist's office, and I was like, can I leave some of my brochures in your waiting area? I got little flyers about ladies' night. I ended up booking like, I had a big group of ladies from the bank come in for ladies' night. It just ended up working out. So anyway, I never went back. I ended up not going back to my job in the corporate world. And I was like, I got to make this work. I mean, I can't. So anyway, fast forward. At my store, I used to do birthday parties. And one of the things I did was I would include for the birthday girl or birthday boy, whoever was having their party there, I would make them a birthday plate. And I would custom paint the front, and I would go around, all their little guests at the party that were painting, I'd go around and paint either their thumb or their fingerprint, and we'd put it on the back. And then we would turn I know y'all have seen this, where you turn little fingerprints into little characters. I have a cup here that my mom had seen it. Let me show y'all. My mom had seen us do this, and she's like, oh my God, I love that. So hang on. I know I've shown some of y'all this cup. I have this cup, and she made another cup. Sorry, I'm behind the camera here. She made another cup. It was like a noodle bowl cup. I have that one too. But these little bumblebees are my mom's thumbprint. She did a little yellow thumbprints all over this cup, and then she turned them into bumblebees. So when she passed away, I was like, this is mine. You know, everybody's like, we're at her house and, you know, kind of going through her stuff because we had to sell her house and everything. And I was like, they're like, what is Jennifer doing? I said, this is mine. This is going in my craft room. I got my paintbrushes in it. So anyway, we did that. And so I would have people come in and say, we're not having a birthday party, but how much would you charge to make one of those birthday plates for my daughter? You know, so I started making custom plates. Then I ended up having a website built, and I thought, you know, I'll just put it out there and maybe I'll get an order here and there for a birthday plate or something. So I started doing that. And next thing I knew, I had brick and mortar and then online boutiques messaging me asking if I sold wholesale. And I was like, sure, you know, okay. I ended up doing that. I ended up at the highest point, I had 19 stores that carried my birthday plates and my crosses. I made, I got some here, and I'll show y'all. I made those custom, and, oh, thank you, Tammy. Hey, Minnie. Hey, y'all. I promise I'll go back and watch the replay, and I'm not trying to not be social. But, anyway, I'm gonna show y'all. So I did crosses. There was some store in Chicago. They had 2 locations in Chicago, and they would order, let me show you the crosses. Apparently they were near some really big church that did Holy Communions and stuff like that, and they said they could not keep these in stock. They would order like 6 dozen at a time. They would want 3 dozen in boy colors, and she's like, just do whatever, I trust you. Give me 3 dozen in boy colors and 3 dozen in girl colors, and we have girl here that writes really pretty with a paint pen, and we just personalize them as they go. And so they were a big account, but most people would order them custom, you know, and I would just paint the name and all. But these are the little, y'all have probably seen stuff like this online. This one says Carly. This was just one I think I had 24 different patterns you could choose from. And you could pick a name, and then I'd put a date on the back, or it might say Holy Communion and a date. Or it could be a baby, a new baby, and we'd just put like their birth date. And sometimes they'd ask for the weight. But I had a couple different shapes of crosses. I had big ones, like the big fat ones. And then these were the most popular ones, this size here. But I did personalized ceramic crosses. I did birthday plates. It's hard to see. I know that glare hits it. But, and they could, if they wanted to put a message on the back. This one says, Happy Birthday, Leonard. And the lady's address, I shipped it to her. And it came back, and I reached out to her, and I could never find her. I don't know what happened. It was weird. So I held on to this, thinking, surely she will message me. I emailed her, no response. I was like, I shipped your plate, but it came back. There was some issue with her address. So I still have this one. But she had asked for it to say, may all your dreams and wishes come true on the back. But sometimes they would put, Mommy and Daddy love you. So, I mean, sometimes I eventually had to say, okay, 12 words max. I can't write a book on the back. So, because it would say, Mommy and Daddy love you. We love watching you grow. And I hope you blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, calm down. But I had, I did this in girl colors, boy colors. I had some that were like bright multicolors, all kinds of little patterns. I had one that had a little flower, little rosettes by the candle. Super cute. But, so these were my birthday plates. These were my crosses. I also did, I can't find a lot of the pieces. I think they're down in the basement. I did Christmas ornaments. This was mine, obviously, Jen. But I did all kinds of little things. But I did that for about, I don't know. I had the Paint Your Own Pottery Studio, and I was doing the website on the side. Well, the website ended up taking over, and it was running circles around the store. And my husband was like, you need to close that store. You can open your laptop, and there's all your customers. And I was like, you're right. I don't want to sell the store, though. I love it. Because we did kids camps. We did Diva Night, Ladies Night, Midnight Madness, where we would be open till midnight the first Saturday of each month. And it was like date night. You should have seen it. It was so fun. But I ended up selling that store to a lady that was a customer. And I ended up buying a new kiln because I sold the store totally ready to run. Basically, I included 2 weeks of training. Basically, I was her employee for 2 weeks. And I showed her how to do everything. I just left it. I did take a few of the, painted samples because I was like, there's certain pieces I really want that, I might have painted my kids' names on or something. But ended up doing that. Finished in my basement, well, one end of my basement. I still have a kiln down in my basement, a kiln room and all that. But ended up doing that, and I did that for years. But the thing is, everybody always says, oh, I want to work for myself. I want to work from home. It gets lonely. You go from being in a store where you've got regulars that come in. I mean, I had people that I knew what day they would be there. There was a veterinarian, Dr. Lori. She was a vet, and every Thursday she was there at noon. Every Thursday. Sometimes she'd bring me lunch, And Laura Erdman, I see her on. She pops in on my lives sometimes. She just placed an order. I guess she saw my replay yesterday. But so it was just, you make so many friends, and it's so funny because I'll see some of the kids that were regulars. They came to every summer camp I had. They had birthday parties year after year at my place. And I see them now, and they're grown, and they have children. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so old. But, I mean, I just watched these kids grow up, you know. And it was just so fun. But you miss that stuff. And, you know, you're working at home, and it's me. And I had a golden retriever back then, and her name was Carmen. And it was just me and Carmen, and I would talk to her all day, and I was like, I wish you could talk back, you know. But so then I started watching people on Facebook. Look, I haven't even started this. I started watching people on Facebook doing crafting, and I was like, oh, I would love to do that, because, you know, you can communicate with people and just chat with them. And I was like, I want to do that. Well, who wants to watch me paint pottery? Because a lot of times they'll say, well, and looking back on it now, I probably could have done that, and people probably would have placed an order like, oh, I like that. Can you make me one? But I didn't think of it that way. I just thought, well, who wants to watch me if I can't sell them? You know, they don't have a kiln in their house, so I just never thought of it, you know. But it is relaxing to watch people paint. So, but it probably would have got boring to watch me paint cupcakes over and over, or polka dots. So, well, okay, fast forward to 2022, I think. I think it was 2022. We had a flood in the middle of the night. We slept through it. Apparently some pipe burst in our master bathroom. Well, I woke up at like 1 in the morning, and I thought I heard something. It sounded like a fan blowing or something. And I was like, what is that? I don't have a fan on. And I went back to sleep. Woke up again, and I could see the silhouette of Cooper, my dog, at the foot of the bed. And he was sitting up like and I was like, okay, he hears something too. So I got up and I walked through the house. And when I walked out, our master is on the main floor. And I walked out to the living room, and I was like, I don't hear anything anymore. And I walked back in the bedroom, and I heard it again. And it's dark. And it's like, at this point, it's like almost 2 in the morning. And I'm like, what is that sound? And as I walk over towards Greg's side of the bed, I'm like, I hear it louder and louder. And I'm like, wait, it's coming from the bathroom. And, you know, you're half asleep. You're not making sense. I'm like, who's in the shower? Who's here? Because it's just me and him. And he's in the bed asleep. And I'm like, who's in our shower? And, you know, I'm thinking somebody broke into our house and they're taking a shower. So I opened the door to our bathroom, and y'all, it was like a fountain in there. The little hose that comes up from the floor and hooks into your bathroom tank was doing this. It looked like one of those things you have in your backyard for your kids. It looked, water's everywhere. The water is this deep, and we have a basement. So on our main floor, all of our vents are in the floor, and then like upstairs here, because our AC and furnace and all that is in the basement for that floor, and up here they're in the ceiling because it's up in the attic. So it's pouring, and it's coming towards the bedroom. It's already filled up the bathroom. It's coming towards the bedroom. It's going down into the vents. So I'm screaming, and Greg comes in there. He runs in there. He turns off the water to the toilet, and he's like, and I'm grabbing towels like that's going to do anything. I'm just grabbing towels, and he's like, I'm going to go get the wet vac or the shop vac and try to suck up some of this water. We can't really do anything till the morning, but let's go ahead and try to suck up some of the water. So I said, it's down in the basement. We had just remodeled the basement. Like we had just, well, we were about a week away from being totally finished, but we had, I mean, new floors, new paint, new furniture, everything. Everything's new. And so I said, it's downstairs. It's in the basement. It's by the door, the basement doors that go out. He's down there forever. And I'm like, oh, what is taking him so long? And I hear him say, honey, can you come down here? And I was like, oh, he can't find it. You know, I'm thinking he can't find it. So I'm like, it's by the door. And so he still doesn't come. So I walk over to the kitchen. That's where the door is to go down to the basement. And I'm like, it's by the door. And he said, can you come down here? And I was like, oh. I get halfway down the stairs and I see water going by. I mean, it was like a little stream. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I get to the bottom of the steps. The whole ceiling has caved in, like collapsed, because all the water went down into the vent and just, it was so much, it busted the vent, the ducts, you know, the silver vents, the air ducts busted, and the whole ceiling had caved in the basement. It was terrifying. And he said, I stood down there for a few minutes thinking, I wonder if I can just not say anything and she'll go back to sleep and I'll tell her in the morning. And then he was like, she's gonna freak out. And I did. I freaked out. It was so bad. It was just terrifying to see the ceiling just hanging there, and water, the lights were hanging. It was like a war zone. But so anyway, my kiln was right there too. So the kiln got flooded. Of course, insurance paid for everything. They redid our basement. They got me a new kiln. I mean, so everything, it took months to get everything put back together. So anyway, that put me out of business because I didn't have a kiln, and even if they'd replaced it right away, I didn't have anywhere to put it. So anyway, I was like, okay, I got to find something else to do. So the more I thought about it, I kept watching all these videos where people were just crafting online, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do some crafts. But my biggest fear of doing this was, you know how you watch, I know we've all seen them, when you're watching other people craft, like you're watching replays and stuff, you know how you see the people in the comments? There's always, not always, you see the people that say something mean, or that's ugly, or you're ugly, or, you know, stuff like that. And I was like, hey, I'm not that tough-skinned. I would probably cry if people did that to me. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. But then I was like, you know, I really want to do something different. And I ended up joining my business coach, Brooke with Refabbed, Brooke Riley. And so when I joined her coaching, I saw this thing come out, and Simply Stacy Designs, she was talking about her business coach, and she was like, her coaching group's open. If anybody wants to join, here's my link. And so I joined. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it and see. And the first thing she told us, the first thing I learned from it was, you got to go live. And I was like, oh, no. I can't do that. And y'all, I finally got up the courage. I got on, and you should have seen, I had a stack of books. I had a Rubbermaid tub and a stack of books holding my camera, because I didn't have a ring light, I didn't have a stand or anything. And I was like, I'm just going to make something. It was the most awkward thing ever. I remember it was the week football season was starting. So I was like, I'm going to make something football related, but pumpkins. So I did these 3 ovals and made like a pumpkin and painted it like a football. So, sorry, I'm looking for my Mod Podge. Okay. So anyway, I went live, and it was so awkward. The first time I went live, there was 0 eyeballs. And I still see people do this, but I remember I turned it on, it said go live. So I hit go live, and it said 3, 2, 1. And there's me. I'm like looking, and I'm like, there's 0 by the eyeballs. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna wait. I'm not thinking ahead like replay, you know? So I'm just like, So I just started doing other stuff. I still see people do this. Yeah, they'll be like working on other stuff or talking to somebody or fixing them something to drink, and and then they'll come back and look at the eyeballs. I guess because they don't see anybody there, they think, well, I'm not going to do anything. So that was me. I was just like, and then I just started like, and I finally just turned it off. I was like, and then I deleted it. I was like, that was terrible. So then the next time I tried, I went on, and I was like, I'm just going to do it and, you know, not worry about it. I think there was 3 eyeballs on there while I was crafting, and I was like, okay, there's 3 people, but nobody was commenting. I was like, as you pop in, say hi, let me know you're here, so I can say hi back. I kept watching. Nobody said a word. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I wanted to say, I know you're there, Paulette. I see your name right there. But I didn't want to call anybody out, you know. And oh, it's just awkward. It's still a little awkward when you first go on and you don't see any eyeballs. But anyway, I made it through, did the craft. But then when I went back and watched the replay, there was some comments there that didn't show up on my screen. So, but it was all people that I went to school with. I mean, nobody knew. So I just kept trying and trying and trying. And eventually it just got fun because people would start commenting and say, oh, that's pretty. Or where did you get that? Or what are you making? You know? And I was like, oh, people to talk to. So it kind of motivates you. And so when I think about where I'm at now, which my page is still small. It's coming up on almost 8,000 followers, but I'm telling y'all that number gets stuck, and I'll see new people, like new names. Like if I tap on followers, I'll see new names, but the number doesn't change. So I don't know what's going on with that. But my whole goal is I'm not shooting for like 1 million followers. I know a lot of people try to do that. I wouldn't know what to do with 1 million followers. And they say as your page grows, you know, then you get more different people, you know. I feel like I have the sweetest people, you know. Like I have the sweetest ladies in my crafting group. They're so fun. They're like family. And it's always like the same regulars that pop in here. And we always get to see somebody new and everybody will welcome them. And it's so fun because everybody's like, oh, welcome in. It's just a great community. So that's one of the things that keeps me coming back is like, I think it was Cynthia Stride. If you're here, Cynthia, I'm going to call you out. I think it was her that said, you've got me crafting again. And it's so fun. And I was like, oh. And then Janice, one of the ladies in my private group, she sent me a Happy Mail box. Speaking of which, we're going to do another trivia. She sent me a big box of stuff. And there was a card in there. And it was just the sweetest stuff she said. And I was like, that's what you do it for. I don't care if I never sell. Well, I do care. If I never sell another laser kit, you know, a DIY kit, it's when you go live and you get somebody else excited about crafting, you just feel good, you know? So that's what gets me. So I have all these plans for this page, but there are certain things like your page has to be so big before Facebook will give you certain tools, like, and it sounds silly, but like the broadcast channel. I would love to have, you have to have 10,000 followers, but do you ever watch people go live and they say, oh, let me send this out to my broadcast channel? I don't have that feature. So a lot of times people will say, I didn't know you were live. And I'm like, I posted that I was going live at 4:30, you know, but it doesn't notify people. And I have Telegram, but I have a lot of people on the Telegram that aren't really crafty related. It's like, you know, friends and stuff like that, that I really don't want to send stuff out to them. Okay, I'm doing the opposite side of where that hole is, so I'm going to do the back side with my picture, because this is going to be on the front of my drawer, and that's way too much. So anyway, that is my story and how I got to where I'm at. I do DIY craft kits, and I still have my kiln because they replaced my kiln when it got flooded. And Greg is constantly saying, why don't you just sell that? You're not doing pottery. I'm like, as soon as I sell it, I'm going to want to make something. So I don't want to sell it. So I still have that. I don't, you know, I don't have any of the supplies. I would have to buy more glaze and stuff like that. But I just feel like if I sold it, I would miss it. So I still have that. And I don't really have plans to start that all up again, but I do miss, like, my pottery store, all the things that I did that led me to where I'm at now, but I miss the people, and that's one thing I love about coming on here. Yes, Facebook unfollows people. That's one thing you could do. Like if you're watching right now, if you tap the screen, look for those three little dots, you know, the three little dots, the menu button. If you tap that, and if it gives you the option to follow Studio J Company, that means you're not following. And you may think you are because you've been following for a while, but I think they do updates and it just tends to drop people off. I don't know if it's, you know, like a lot of people watch silently. They don't comment and interact and stuff like that. And maybe Facebook thinks, oh, they're not interested. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm the last person to ask how Facebook works because I don't understand either. So anyway, that's the way it goes. And I really hope that as my page grows, I really want to try to do like the retreats and the meet and greets and stuff like that. Because I swear I go out, like a lot of times I love to do like thrift flips. Like go and get something like at the thrift store and flip it into something else. And anytime I do, somebody will message me and say, you have the best thrift stores. And I'm like, there's two really good ones in my area. In Peachtree City, there's two really good thrift stores. And I'm like, I wish I could bring y'all with me. So if we ever did anything and y'all were ever in my area, I would take you to those thrift stores because they're my favorite. It's a really, Peachtree City is a really nice area of town. And I always joke that that's where the ladies with a lot of money donate their stuff. So there's always good stuff. That's what I think. But there's also a lot of, you know, there's people that have lived there forever. And I will see like a lot of china and stuff like that. And I feel like someone probably passed away and their family just, you know, emptied out their china cabinet and donated it to the thrift store. Because I see some of the most beautiful china full sets. So, you've learned a lot from watching lives. You know what? I learn a lot. I go to bed at night. Well, y'all know, if you watch me for any amount of time, you know, I don't sleep hardly ever. But when I do, I get on and I just watch people's, you know, I watch their replays. Sometimes you'll find somebody on late at night. Really late. And sometimes if I have an iced coffee, that will be me. I will be on there late at night. Sometimes people say, go get a coffee and come back on. I'm like, no, I don't know. Hot coffee doesn't do that to me. It's the iced coffee. And I think Donna Stone Shields, she was telling me it's because it's more concentrated. Sorry. I know I haven't like looked at the comments, but I knew I would get sidetracked because I like to talk. So, all right, all I'm doing is gluing these. Aren't those pretty? I'm gluing these on here. I need to go, let me just get these on here so I can show y'all what I'm making with this, okay? Because we're actually going to make some. We're not making a set of drawers. We're going to use the drawers for something else. So let me just keep doing this. That's pretty much my story. I just wanted to tell everybody. Because I never have gotten on here and said, hey, y'all. Oh, I'm in Georgia. So let's do another trivia. Okay, I'm going to do a trivia question. And see, because I don't think I went over any of these things. I was afraid I would give away some of the answers telling the story, but let's see. Okay, if you have watched me for any length of time, you probably know. And I'm gonna go by the first answer I see up here. Okay, so here's the next trivia question, and this is for. Hold on. Where's my prizes? Oh, okay. It's Amanda, yes, always begging me to go get an iced coffee because she knows that's going to keep me up. Okay. The first person I see with the correct answer is going to win. It's a little laser cutout pumpkin spice latte. Now, it's flat on the back, so you could attach it to any surface or base you want to do. And it's layered. It's super cute. It's like a little pumpkin latte wearing a sweater. Isn't that cute? It's like sweater weather. Okay, this Happy Mail. Here's the question. Okay, and I'm talking about myself, not my kids or anything like that. What pets do I have? And do you know their name? How many pets? What are they? Is it fish or, you know, squirrels or what? And what are their names? Mine. Not how many are at my house at the moment. My daughter's is here. My son's is here. So, but what do I have? What are my pets and what are their names? I would take an invasion. Y'all can come invade me. I would be up for that. I would love to meet y'all. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Where's number 4? Y'all, I've lost the box. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, Karen, 3 dogs, Stella, Cooper, and Maggie. Yes. Karen, congratulations. You won the little, pumpkin spice latte. Congratulations. Let me get my, oh, there it is. It's behind that little cup I was showing y'all of my mom's. Congratulations. I have your address, Karen. And then that's Tammy over there. I have 2 more prizes. Let me put this over here. Let me put Tammy's name on hers. Okay. Let me move my pottery. Okay. So, in addition to this box, this is from Dollar Tree. Okay, I've got 4 of these, and I was going to use, you could use the paint stir sticks from Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, wherever you get your paint. This is the 5-gallon. I was going to use these, and apparently I only have 1, and I need 2. So you could get these at you know, the paint store. So I just found 2 pieces of similar size wood in my scrap pile, and I'm going to use those. You have 3 dogs too? Huh? Oh, look, Jill, you knew 2 of them. It's funny because they are the ones that are usually on here with me. Cooper's not real, oh, my hair's a mess. Cooper's not real outgoing and social. He just wants to, he's old. He's an older dog. He moans and groans, and, you know, if somebody's talking too loud, you know. But the others are just, they want all the attention. So that's why people usually know. They demand a lot of attention. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put this last one on here. These actually turned out to be bigger. I printed them out. I was afraid I was going to not print them out big enough. That's why I painted it black, so it would blend in. But I think it's going to work out perfect. Now with these drawers over here, let me show you. I don't have any of these little knobs right now. So instead I got these little square wooden beads from Dollar Tree. You know, they come on like a string. I'm gonna use some of those to make a knob, but just a little drawer pull. But I also printed out some colorful paper, and I decoupaged the sides too. It's a different paper, and I didn't have a chance to print that out, but I may end up decorating the sides too. But I'm gonna, at least, I can always go back and do that later. I want to go ahead and build what I'm making to show y'all for the ribbon. All right, so there's those. For the outside, I I was trying to pick out a color. I can't remember what color I used on that. It was some kind of teal, but we'll get to that. Let me sand these. Okay, I'm going to sand these off, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and ask another question, a trivia question. Okay, and it'll be for these 4 really pretty napkins. They're like, I've seen wallpaper, I've seen sheets. It's some design. Is it William Morris is the designer, I think? So I've got these really pretty, these 4 napkins. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for these 4 napkins, the question is, what is, if you've watched me do any crafting, painting, what is my favorite painting technique that I do almost always on everything I paint? I can't control myself. What technique do I do? Oh, whose little dog just passed? Leona, your dog. So sorry. That's, I mean, they really are like our kids. Okay, Margie said crackle, Lois said sponge, Cindy said dry brush, Diane said dry brush too. Okay, Cindy Hall, yes, I dry brush everything. And the reason I had to stop and do that because I did it on this and I was just about to do the outside. And I was like, oh, wait, I better ask that question first. So Cindy Hall, you just won those napkins. Congratulations. I have your address. Diane, yours came in right after her. Yep, Tony Lynn, it's dry brushing. I dry brush everything. I just think it looks so pretty. Okay, so there's the front of my drawer. I finally put a garbage bag in my trash can. Yesterday, I brought up trash bags to replace for my trash can because I'd taken the trash out and I didn't know where I laid them. I was like, where did I lay them? So there was no trash bag in my trash can. So I was painting last night on that live and I kept wanting to throw stuff into the trash can, but I had like a little plate, a little paper plate with paint all over it. And I was like, oh, do not throw that in that trash can with no bag. So I finally found them. They were under some stuff over there. I was like, oh my gosh. I could just see me putting wet plates in there of paint. You did an awesome way. Thank you. Yep, I see a lot of people saying dry brushing, dry brushing. Yep. I almost feel like it's a joke. I mean, but I love it. It's so pretty. I told you I was crafting with Callie, my daughter, and she was like, she was painting a pumpkin or something, and she's like, she had her little chip brush, and she goes, no, this is what she said, where's your little crunchy brush? And I said, my what? She said, your what do you call it, crunchy brush? And I said, my chip brush, my dry brushing. And she said, yeah. And she said, I wanna dry brush this. Well, I looked over a few minutes later and she was like, it's not looking right. And I was like, just dip, get a little bit of paint and then just get most of it off, unload it onto a paper towel and then do it. So she's like, oh, and she's dipping in water. And I said, Callie, dry brush. She's like, oh. She's got water all over her brush. And I was like, why are you dipping in water? That's why my brushes are so crunchy. Because I just keep using them until they're so crunchy they don't work. And y'all know, if you do that, if you don't throw them away, because, oh, look, I want to show y'all what I got. Do y'all remember when I saved all my used brushes and I decorated them? And I said I was going to make something out of it? Let me show y'all. This is just a few of them, but I think I'm going to finally get around to doing that project. But look, these were my used dry brushes. But I went in and kind of purposely painted the tips. Like this, it just had dried white paint from where I dry brushed so much. But I went in and put some hot pink on there, and then I decoupaged all kinds of little things on the front. I didn't worry about the back. But like these, so you can save them. And I said I'm gonna decorate these. Look, I put little quote, like this one says, "Open your eyes to wonder today." Isn't that pretty? Look at the green, the orange and the blue. And then this was a napkin. Well, I think I shrunk down. I photocopied it. This one says, "There is so much beauty in this world. The trick is to open your eyes and take the time to really look at it." And then it says, "Shine." But anyway, I was going to take the happiness is found within. I love that one. So anyway, I said I'm going to take these and I'm going to mount them on something and hang it in my craft room. Well, I got this word, create. No, it's backwards. Here we go. So I think I'm going to maybe decorate this and then spread these around, and I don't know. I could probably find some kind of little surface, like a long picture or something at Goodwill, like a pretty frame or something. That would be really cool. And paint the word create. Don't you think that'd be pretty? And I could hang it like over the doorway of my craft room. That's my plan. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I need to find some kind of frame that's long enough that will still fit over the doorway. I think that'll be fun. All right, one more. Let me sand this off. This makes the biggest mess. But I have found if you have a fresh piece of sandpaper on here, it goes right through it. Like in no time. Okay. Okay, so I got all my drawers. The front's done. Let me just dry brush. The drawer part, I can always come back and do stuff with it later. But these I'm going to actually glue all together. So let me just do a little quick dry brush on the parts that are. Let me see. I'm gonna glue them side by side. So I'll have like a row of boxes and make it like one box. Let's see. Let me get this out of the way. I don't need this. Okay, this is gonna be so cool, I think. Okay, I'm gonna use wood glue and hot glue to put these together, and I've got some of those little clamps from Dollar Tree. These little clamps, or you could use clothespins too. Okay, so let's see. And you know, being from Dollar Tree, these are not perfectly square. They're not all the same size. So I'm just going to line them up the best I can. Let me get a little bitty bit of white. Okay. So I'm really only going to have to do the top they're glued together. So I'll do all the tops and just this side of these. And I guess the edges of the front. Okay. So do this side here. Isn't that pretty? I just like that. It's almost like a distressed look. I'm gonna hit the front too. Okay, so there's. I'm trying to do them all in the same direction. So there's that one. I'll just do the top of this one. And the front. I got Greg to cut that wood and then a dowel rod or a little, well, yeah, it's a little dowel stick. Oh, that one's heavier. Some look softer than the others, but it's okay. Okay. I'm going to hot glue and wood glue these together. Got my hot glue. I try to organize this little table and I can't find anything. Okay, let me get my, there it is. Never mind. Thought I had it. And my little sharp tool. All right, so I'm going to put a little wood glue and a little hot glue. One of the crafters I like to follow from Michelle with Basement Crafting with Michelle, she calls it, she'll say, all right, we're going to put a little, like she'll say, we'll put a little E6000 and some Hold Me Now. And the E6000 is, you know, for long term, and the Hold Me Now holds it now. And here I am Googling Hold Me Now glue. And I finally went on our comment and I said, where do you find the Hold Me Now? And she said, it's hot glue. I was like, oh, I'm on Google, like, Hold Me Now, Amazon, Hold Me Now. She said, it's hot glue, silly. I was like, oh. I was trying to find me some of that Hold Me Now glue. It does, it holds it now. I may not need those, clamps since the hot glue will hold it in place. Okay. I'm just doing little squiggles. Okay, so once you get these together, you can take your paint sticks, your paint stir sticks. Like I was saying, maybe get the 5-gallon ones because they're thicker, they're bigger and thicker. Okay, so got my little row of boxes, and then you'll take your paint sticks, or like I got scrap wood because I only had 2. And what I had him do, I've got a dowel rod. I just happen to have this one. I would I mean, this size is fine. I think this is a 1/4 inch. I had a long one just standing in the corner, a little 1/4 inch. I know Dollar Tree has these too. They're a little fatter too. You get 2 in a pack. But I had Greg drill some holes up at the top of my, oops, there it is. At the top of my little, it could be your paint sticks or whatever. And then, well, you want to paint these. Let me think. I don't know what color I want to paint them. So, let me see. I'll show you what we're doing. Anyway, you know what? I made Mod Podge these with some pretty paper. Like I'm going to do like the inside of the drawers. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on like this. And then I'll have to finish them to show y'all the finished project. But you're going to take these, the end that you did. I did these, I think I did them 14 inches. Let me see. I guess it really just depends what boxes you have on the bottom. If you have boxes, you might just want to do wood. No, these are just a little over 12 inches tall. Okay, so it's about 12 inches tall. You could even get strips of wood at Dollar Tree. It could be wider than this too. So anyway, I'm gonna glue one to each end. Do one on this end. That's the back, and one on this end. Turn it around to y'all. With the hole up at the top. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue this on. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna use some wood glue and some Hold Me Now. And you want to line it up at the bottom. So it sits flush on the table. Oh, I did it too wide. What am I thinking? I'm just going to center mine. I mean, if you had a piece of wood that was the same width as your box, it would just cover the whole side of the box. I put glue all over this. My piece of wood's not that wide. Hey, Wendy. I don't know if I saw you pop in. You've probably been here a while, and I just haven't looked up and seen who's here. But I do promise to go back and watch the replay. Okay. So I got that on the side. These are probably warped. They've been out in my garage in my little wood stash. So, all right, we'll do the same thing over here. Oh, I hear Stella. Again, I'm going to try to center it. Just get it flush with the bottom. Okay. You'll see where I'm going with this. I got, I thought of this because I know I've seen something similar, but I think it was for kitchen stuff. But last night on my live, I think it was Melissa. Melissa was here earlier. Melissa said, do you have all your paint on your craft table? Or do you keep all your paints on your craft table? Not all of them, but I like to have as much stuff that I use on a regular basis, like close at hand. Because y'all know I'm bad about having, oh, hold on, let me run over here, let me run over there. So it just helps. See, this is where we're at so far. And then your dowel rod will just be cut just long enough to go through both, and maybe just a little extra. So you can see it's just sticking out just a little bit on each end. You can kind of see it there. Okay, so what I'm doing is, this is, you know, he could have cut this a little bigger. So then I'm going to take my ribbon, put some of these napkins there. So you take like whatever ribbons. Now this isn't going to hold a ton of ribbons, but like if there's certain ones you use a lot, I use a lot of jute, twine. Let's just pretend, I'll probably change these out. I just grabbed, and it won't hold like, I mean, it could hold huge rolls, but I just grabbed some of my smaller rolls. So I'm going to put these on here and watch. I'm going to show y'all. But, you know, if it's just the ones you use on like the majority of your projects. So you can put, I'm just going to stick some on here to show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you something else with it. But to me, ribbon, I mean, what draws us to ribbon, other than the fact that we need it for a certain project, is the colors, the patterns, you know, you want to see. And then we throw it in a drawer or in a tub or whatever. But, I mean, ribbon is decorative. So it's almost like a little decoration in your craft room. This one on here. Okay, so let's just say these are all your favorites. Pop that in there. And then another thing you could do. That one needs a pin. Hang on. I'll put a little stick pin in here. So say you've got all the, you can put like all, whatever the season is or whatever. So you'll have your, now this is going to be painted or decoupaged, but you'll have all that. And then, I'll put my drawers in. Oh, I got another, okay. My pets, favorite painting technique. Okay, here's another trivia question. And this is for, where's the other prizes? Hold on. Oh. Okay, so this is for Happy Mail. This is, now some of you may already have these, but it's three little crafty embellishments, laser cuts, rolling pin, wooden spoon, and a whisk. So if you're doing like a little Christmas baking project, a little sign or something, or you could make ornament. These would be cute ornaments too. Okay, this is for these. It's just three little embellishments. Okay, next trivia question is, what do because I've shown y'all, now, unless you've seen, I think I've mentioned it on a couple of lives. What do I do with my ribbon scraps? And I'm bad about not using them for this, but anyway, what do I do with my ribbon scraps? Like, you know, if you're doing something and then you have like a piece of ribbon about this long, do you throw it away or do you keep the whole spool? I mean, for that one piece of ribbon about this long, what do I do with mine? And I've shown y'all before and suggested you do it, but then I forget. So let me put these in here. But I was thinking, if you do this and you have ribbon scraps, you could keep them in the little drawers on the bottom. You could put your ribbon scraps in the drawers. No idea, save them. Okay. I know, I'm just curious if, I think I've shown it on like a couple of lives. So I'm curious who knows this answer. What do I do with them? Oh, but here's the next thing. Okay, so you know these little sugar shakers at Dollar Tree? Do you put them in a glass jar? Yes, Angie. I call it my scraps jar. And I've been saying, look at all my scraps. Because then if you're going to make a messy bow or whatever, you just can reach in here and it's like, oh, well, You know, you might need, you know, strips. You know what I'm saying? Look, here's some pom-pom, you know. So I need to get better about keeping it at my craft table so I use it, because look how full it is. I don't recall reaching for this for a while, but look, you could put it, you know, you could put it there. And then, like, if you go to Dollar Tree, or I am learning more and more, Dollar General, if they have the same thing Dollar Tree has, it's probably cheaper there. They may have these. But look, you could put, like, whatever, like if you use this, like, cord, this is just a cotton cord, and then pull it through this keeps it neater. And look, you can put these under here. I have, oh, like if you get baker's twine, I know, like I have some baker's twine that's on like a big fat roll. You could put one in there. But if you get like the small spools of baker's twine, you know how like sometimes at Dollar Tree you can get like the multi-pack that's got like several colors, like this size, the little ones. I've got several in here, and this is the one that's like for Parmesan cheese. It's got all the little holes in the top. So look, I've got all my they're all stacked in there, because otherwise these get all wrapped up together. They tie to each other. They roll across the floor. So you can just grab what you need, clip it off, and keep on going. So yeah, you could put these on here. So you could have your little ribbon station, and like I said, you could put your scraps in a drawer down there. I know, and I have a whole thing of these scraps. I could make so many little messy bows with this. But sometimes it's just, you know, it's not worth keeping the spool if it's just a strip this big. But I don't throw anything away, so I'm like, I might need that strip for something. Look, I even have my my Rick Rack in one of these. That's the little sugar shaker one. So I always want to call this Riff Raff. And then I've got one. This one has like colored jute, twine, cream color, green. I've got pink. I've got several colors. But look, isn't that cute? So the ribbons, and like I said, you could put whichever ribbons you use the most. There's no way I could fit all my ribbons. You could go taller and just have them spaced so far apart with the dowel rods. I mean, you could do that. I should have cut this a little bit longer. But, you know, I guess if you have it sitting like at somewhere where it's not going to get tipped over. But I think that's a cute idea. It'd be a cute little ribbon station. Isn't that fun? And it doesn't cost much. I mean, this was scrap wood. I already had that dowel rod for some reason. And then the boxes came from Dollar Tree. Like I said, I haven't seen them at my Dollar Tree in a while, but I bought a ton of them. I went around to all the different Dollar Trees in my area, and I bought the ones I could, because I was going to make an Advent calendar thing and have something different in each drawer. So I bought like a ton of them. But I don't think I found enough to do an Advent calendar. So I was stuck with like, you know, 18 or something like that. So I've been using them. But isn't that cute? I'm going to do, I'm probably going to paint these little square beads and glue them onto the front somewhere to make a little drawer pull. Unless I can find something a little smaller so I don't cover up too much of the moth. But isn't that cute? I could still put another. See, I wasn't even thinking about putting this there. I was going to put 4 of these little jars. Like that. Cute. Little organizer. Come on. I was on a piece of hot glue. That's what it was. the moment you have room. Yes, I have room on my desk. I started trying to clean up in here because I had brought all kinds of stuff up here. All that stuff from Walmart was up here. I was at Ross this morning. I'm on a mission to find some more of those gingerbread stockings. So in red, with the boy has a red bow tie and the girl has a little red bow in her hair. I got the pink ones, and if I have to go with, because I need 4. I need 2 girl, 2 boy, and I was going to put those on my fireplace. So I have it in pink, and then I have 1 set of 2 in red, and if I can find the other set of the red, I'm going to keep the red, and I'll do the pink as giveaways in that favorite things box or boxes that I'm going to do in November. So that's coming soon. So anyway, that is, I love it. I love it. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh, I hope this works. I might have to, the little sticks I did on the side, they're a little warped, so they kind of go up and out. So I needed to cut my dowel rod just a little more. I might put something on the end of it because I need to be able to take it out to change my ribbons. So, but I think it's super cool. But I do need to keep my scraps jar. Oh, I gotta write Angie's name on here. Congratulations, Angie. You won those embellishments. Angie. Okay. Yay, this was fun, y'all. Super fun. You say, I think my craft room is just meant to be a mess. I know. I think so too. Because I start cleaning it. And I find stuff and then I get distracted and it's like, oh, where'd the hour go? But you know, something else I noticed. I have, I don't know if y'all can see back here. I have all these drawers. I have to do a tour of the craft room one day. I'll have to clean it up a little bit. I have all these drawers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got these. You know when you go in Hobby Lobby and they always say furniture 30% off or whatever? I got these 2. I guess they're nightstands. You can kind of see them. They had 2 of them. And I put them there and then put that board across it and then did my built-ins. That's just shelving like from Home Depot for closets and stuff. Can y'all see? That's wallpaper from Dollar Tree. You know the Dollar Tree wallpaper sheets? That has been up there for over a year. It's got a little bit of metallic to it, so when that ring light hits it, when the ring light's not hitting it, it's actually really pretty. It's got like birds and florals, but remember I said I was going to put it up and see if it started peeling off? It has stayed. So I really like it. I have to do this type of thing again. I know, I need to do like, I want to do like organizing stuff. Especially for the craft room, you know? Because God knows we all need help. We need help in our craft rooms. But yeah, I have all these drawers and the majority of them are empty. So that's part of my problem. I like having everything out where I can see it. If I put it in a drawer, I can't find it. I am the worst about organizing and then I can't find anything. But I got this label maker. I told y'all my little secret trick. I put stuff in the Amazon cart and I leave it, and then Greg goes to buy something and he checks out, and then something shows up in the mail for me and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have. But I got this cool label maker. It wasn't expensive, but it only came with a few labels, and I ran out and I hadn't ordered any more. So I went online the other day because I was like, I need some more labels. Maybe if I label the drawers, you know, I can walk by and kind of see what's where. But I ordered some and it came in a pack of 1,600 labels. So I'm going to be labeling everything. But it's, it's really cool because you download a free app on your phone and you can pick the font. Like I labeled all my little, it's hard to see that. I had to do it small because I wanted to put, these are all of my Home Depot paints, you know, the little pots of paint we get. I put them in these honey jars or honey bottles, and I labeled it like Bear Fiji, and I put the color number. I'm sure I could go in there and say Bear Fiji and they would pull it right up, but I just went ahead and put the number. But it just makes cute little labels. So you can, I mean, you could do something big if you wanted to. So I need to start labeling stuff. I think that'll help me get more organized. Hey, Cindy Temple. Oh. All right, I am. Yes, Cindy. I can't tell you here. It's a secret code. It's our secret code. So, it's in the group. I'll message you as soon as I get off here. But if you go in the group, the private group, and tap on photos, look for the flyer. It's got like a fall background, and it's got like the important dates. And at the bottom, it's got your group code for your discount code for the shop. It's our secret handshake code. I can't tell you here. No, I'm just kidding. Wait, what? I dined most of my time looking for it. I think she spent most of her time. I do that. But then I find stuff that I've been looking for forever. And I'm like, oh, wait, what was I looking for this for? And then I go looking for a project that I was looking for that item for. So that's my problem. I told y'all one time I was like cleaning up and I came across my high school yearbooks. Y'all, I was worthless for 2 days. I just sat down and was going through it. You know, you go through looking at pictures, and then you're reading what people wrote, and then you go looking, oh, where they're at now. And you get on Facebook looking for people, and it's like, oh my gosh. So don't go looking for yearbooks. That is a big time killer. All right, so I am going to go. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, and thank you for sitting through my story. I know that was kind of long. I was like, okay, I need to kind of keep it short, but now y'all know how I got here, what I used to do, what I'm doing, and why I do it. I do it because y'all are encouraging. That's why I'm always saying, y'all take a picture, because I feel like I'm crafting and y'all are watching. But I love seeing what other people make, you know? So I'm like, take a picture, you know? I want to see y'all's. So, thank y'all for hanging out. Thank you for being here. You do make this so much fun. You make it worth it. It's worth, you know? Some days I get on here and I'm like, I know I look like an idiot and I'm babbling about something, but y'all are always so sweet. But that was one of my biggest fears about going live, is like the mean people, the trolls. You know, I know we have stink bugs too. They don't scare me as much because I know they're creepy men that have no life, but it's the trolls, the ones that kind of make it personal, like, you know, I see them, they'll say, stop touching your hair, and, you're fat or something like that. And it's like, oh my gosh, who says that? Or they'll talk about the project. That's ugly. And I'm like, just keep scrolling if you don't like it. You don't tell somebody their stuff is ugly. You know? Just don't tell them anything. But, oh, Amanda sent you the code, Cindy. She sent you the secret handshake. We have a secret handshake if you want a discount in my shop. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. All right, y'all. I'm going to go. It's Saturday. I'm sure my team is losing at football right now. Don't tell me if they are, Amanda. I love you too, Angie. Yeah, if we plan a meet and greet, or if y'all plan to invade me or whatever, come to Georgia, I'm all for it. I do want to figure that out. I was telling Greg the other day, I said in 2026, I try to pick a word for the year, and my word for 2026 is simplify. I have too much stuff. I have too much junk, and I gotta get a grip on that before he gets a dumpster. He's still talking about getting a dumpster. I'm like, wait, I gotta go through my stuff. I need to have a garage sale. It's the perfect weather for a garage sale. Yes, creepy men that have no life. Thank you, Jill. Well, I love you being here. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna go. Y'all know this is one of my other problems. I do this on the phone too. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh wait, did you hear about such and such? Okay, all right, I need to go. What are you eating for dinner? What sounds good for dinner? Okay, all right, y'all. I'm gonna run, and I don't plan to be on here tomorrow, but because I'm going back to Raw, I'm going to the other Ross to look for those gingerbread stockings. Hold on. If you didn't see them and you're wondering what I'm talking about, let me show you real quick because I got them right here. Okay. I got these at Ross, y'all. If you love gingerbread, these look like something from Pottery Barn that would be so much more expensive. But see, these stockings are really pretty and they're heavy. See how the gingerbread boy has a pink bow tie and the girl has a pink bow in her hair, and the little pom-poms are pink and white. And then, well, they have it in red also. So he's got a red bow tie and she's got a red bow. And then these have the little gingerbread house. He's got a pink bow tie and she's got a pink bow, but it's got the little gingerbread house with the faux fur for the snow. So I found that one in red, the one with the pom-poms. So I want the red because I'm doing red with my Christmas decor this year. I mean, if I have to do the pink, I will, but I'd rather have the red. If I can find this one with the gingerbread house, because I found these at 2 different Ross, but the guy was still it was so funny because the guy was rolling the cart out and he was putting stuff on the shelves, and I was looking at something and I heard him go, $40. It was so cute because he was like pulling stuff off the shelf looking at it, and I looked over, he said, what the heck is Spode? And I said, I believe in Spode they make like Christmas dishes or something like that. He was like, $40 at Ross? I guess that is high for anything at Ross. But it was so funny. But anyway, he was still putting out Christmas stuff. And I didn't bother to say, do you have any of these in the back? So anyway, I found those. So I'm going back to the other Ross. I'm going to just keep checking every day and see if I can find them. And if I do, I'm going to end up putting those in a giveaway probably. So if anybody likes those, stay tuned. Okay. It's the Southern goodbye. That's it. I have more to say when I'm trying to say goodbye than like the whole conversation. Okay. I'm really going to go this time. Y'all have a great night, great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. But if I find something good, I'll come on and show y'all. I'll do another haul. Okay? All right. And I might put up my Christmas tree. I might wait till like my husband goes to sleep and just put it up and just say, well, I was just making sure all the parts were there. But it's up, so what are you going to do about it? All right. Bye, y'all. Have a good night. Bye. I can't reach the button.